sunshine to the morning light. Sister MJ brings the truth so bright. Health and nature in every sound. Feel the rhythm, let's get unbound. From our higher we get our power. Every herb, every healing flower. Sister MJ shows the way. Naturally living every day. Naturally you, naturally free, naturally living as God meant to be. Breathe the air that's fresh and pure. Nature's bounty is the cure. Sister MJ shows what's real in every word and every meal. From the mountains to the sea, every breath is harmony. Feel the beat and feel alive. With Sister MJ we thrive. Grains and fruits in every bite. Feel the energy, feel the light. Harmony in every part. Naturally you, with all your heart.
Good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome. What a day, what a day. Welcome to another episode of Naturally You. I am your host, Sister MJ, and I am just happy to be able to breathe again. Shalom, Ak Ephraim. How are you? How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Another day, another week, day 5, and here we go again, right? You know, the world today is so chaotic. It seems like every day it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. More drama, more chaos. I always go back in the black and white TV days. I'm probably dating myself. But, you know, Max and 99, Get Smart was the name of the show, and their operation was Chaos. The police department was called Chaos. And we may not realize it, or some of us do. However, the world we are living in has an absolutely lot of chaos. And I'm sure you see it. And if you don't, it's time to open your eyes so that you may see, and open your ears to hear, because it's out there. Shalom, Sister Shannon and Sister Esteline, Sister Dawn, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Tonight, we're going to dive into something that I feel it's heavy on me, because I look at the chemtrails and the storm we've just had and all the things around us, and I see the attack that's going on our breathing. And years ago, where I worked, before 5G was even rolled out, they were working on 6G. And I would tell my sister, I said, they're working on 6G in Singapore or these other countries. And here in the US, they hadn't even rolled out 5G. This was prior to 2020, mind you. And here we are now. So it just gives you a I want to say bird's eye view into what's really going on out there. And therefore, that brought about today's topic, which is just breathe. Just breathe. I want each and every one of you to just breathe. Take a deep breath with me. Just breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And just let it out. It's so soothing. My favorite place in the world is the beach. Can you tell? So today we're just going to learn more about these wonderful lungs that the Most High gave us and how we are supposed to care for them. We want to do everything that we do optimally. We want it to be optimal. We want the optimal health. We want to eat the optimal food. We want to eat drink the best water. All of these things, because our breathing is everything. We do not know how many breaths we are given. Only the heavens know that. And one day that breath will be taken from us. So just breathe. Just breathe. Sister Kim, Shalom. Sister Dawn. Sister... Who else? Did I see Sister Monique? Not yet. Okay. So let's talk about the lungs and how we should be caring for them. And I want you to do a self-examination and see if you are taking care of yours properly. Is there anything that you can do to get the optimal breathing out of this body, this vessel you are in? And maybe if you're not, take away some of the tips we're going to speak on tonight and incorporate that into your day-to-day activities. Your lungs are not just airbags, like the car, they give us the airbags in the car, but it's living, it's intelligent tissue. And, we see the lungs, but I don't think we look inside of the lungs. And if you look inside of the lungs, there's a lot going on. We are the Most High's masterpiece. Masterpiece. And these lungs are everything for us. But, we don't talk about it. We don't think about it, I should say. We may talk about it when we get sick or diseased, but it's something that we really need to take a look at. So let's do that. In our lungs, we have a gas exchange, right? So those alveoli, they allow the oxygen to enter in and out, right? Into the bloodstream, and carbon dioxide leaves. So when we breathe in, and then we let it out. And the more, and the deeper we breathe, that we can handle, the deeper breathing, the better we can handle situations when, like, if you're underwater and you have to hold your breath for a while, if you're going into a store and you have that big vent. I know when I go into like stores like Walmart or Costco and they have all that heat right there, I hold my breath when I enter until I get in the store, because I don't know what toxins they're shooting out at us. And it's real. It's real. Because they put stuff in the air vents in those type of stores. because they need a narrative. They need you to go to the pharmacy and get some little cough medicine or something for the sniffles. It's all part of their plan. It's all part of their plan. So the major breathing related diseases are the airway diseases. There's also asthma. Many of us are familiar. There's also COPD, and that's a big one these days. Conge- uh, and then there's the bronchitis. I can't say that right. And of course, acute bronchitis. And when you have this, there's a heaviness on you. It's like somebody's holding their hand, pressing down on your chest, and you literally can't breathe. So we want to make sure that we understand what's going on here, because the lungs trap dust and microbes and particulates. And we want to make sure we're keeping the airway clean, so we don't have the mucus. We don't have hair or cilia in our hair, in our nostrils. That's to help our breathing. And then we also have cilia. I think it's also in our ears. Some men have it more so than us women. Okay. But the lungs are rich in lymph vessels. And we've been talking the last 2 weeks about the lymph and the lymphatics, the cleanse we are doing. Did you know that your lungs have lymph vessels? So when this week, or the last 2 weeks, we on week 3, starting tonight, is going into week 3, because next week, Thursday, is the end of it. You should be feeling and seeing more mucus come out of you more easily, and you should be able to be breathing a lot better. Ah, Sister Esteline, that was the name of it. Okay. And I guess you can put in the chat, and if I recall that time, and it was one of the things I mentioned to you was Origabiotic, which is one of my favorite healthy medicinal supplements, let's say, that I use if I have any issues with my breathing. Okay, let's continue, because you know me and time, not my friend. Yesterday I was doing some research, and somebody said in 1989 the flu was created. Did you hear me? Created. They created it like they did everything else in the lab. Keep that in your mind, okay? So these are the lung tissue diseases, and you may have experienced this before or know somebody who has. You may have had a family member that has had this issue as well. But we want to be ahead of it. We want to be somewhat familiar with it, so that if something happens, we can go dig a little deeper, instead of saying, oh, well, what can I do, doctor? And he goes out the door, goes and types on his computer, and the AI, which means artificial lies, or a lie, will give you what he comes back and gives you a prescription to help cure or put a band-aid on the symptoms, or instead of getting to the root cause. But I digress. So the lung tissue diseases affect the structure of the lung itself and its ability to expand and exchange oxygen, because as we breathe in and we breathe out, in and out, right? And sarcoidosis is an inflammatory disease that can form granulomas in the lung. So that's like a tumor type thing going on. Did you know about that? And of course, there's lung cancer, which the tumors obstruct the airways and invade the tissue. So I want you to think of your box of tissues, your Kleenexes, right? If you took them and folded and took them out and folded them, that's what you have. Those are the tissues in your lungs. And in between those tissues, things happen. You can get mucus, or you can have some blockage or congestion going on there. And we want to make sure we think about that and avoid that at all costs. In our world today, oh, you think Sister Talathia had that, Sister Dawn? Really? Okay. Yep. That's right. Marshmallow root and mullein tea. Those are key. And I think we're going to talk about that today, too. Oh, wow. Bernie Mac. You know what? It's funny you mentioned Bernie Mac, because I was thinking about him. Was it yesterday or the day before? He was one of my favorite comedians. He was so funny. And it's just sad the way he went out of here. Of course, there's another story behind what they say. I believe he was taken out, but I digress. We have, according to the CDC, the Center of Death, the Center of Death Control, as I call it, they're saying that our infectious respiratory diseases are the flu and pneumonia, right? The flu and pneumonia. And these two are, I want you all to look at the symptoms and see how closely related they are. See how closely related they are. You have the runny nose, the eye irritation, stuffiness. And then we have the cough, the sore throat, the headaches, the muscle aches, the fever, and of course, there's the diarrhea. And the diarrhea is actually a good sign, because diarrhea is saying, hey, there's something in me I need out. And a lot of us think, oh my gosh, I've got diarrhea. No, I'm sick. No, your body is saying naturally, it's just like a fever. When you get a fever, your body's saying something came in and I need it out of here. It's like a parasite, except the parasites stay in until we evict them. They're not going nowhere. They use us as their host. And then look at the pneumonia symptoms, pretty much the same. The fever, the chest pain, you might have nausea and vomiting there. But again, that vomiting is saying, hey, there's something in here that needs to come out. And remember, please remember, anytime you go out and you come back in and your ears are tickling you, something doesn't feel right, that's a sign that something is coming. Or if your throat, you feel something in your throat, that's a sign. If you find yourself grabbing Kleenexes more than usual, that's a sign. And that's when you start your preventive measures. And we've talked about that ad nauseum, how we prevent that. We have our peroxide, we can gargle with the salt water, we can do our lymphatic massaging around the ears, because the ears, like the hands and feet, and the tongue and the face all have parts that connect to the organs in our body. And if we massage in this area, you can do a deep tissue massage and really bring relief to your body. You can bring great relief to your body. And I don't know about y'all, but I've truly been enjoying my massaging this week. And this morning I found someplace new that I didn't think of, and I thought, I wonder if anyone else has noticed. So I was massaging my neck this morning this way, and then I just decided to do this right underneath, and I was amazed. I was like, mucus was coming. I'm like, wait a minute. And some people have a double chin and what's not going on here. And I got to thinking, maybe that's just a sack of mucus. So we need to, the next week, all of you who are actually doing it, just make sure you'll work in this area as well and see if you're getting some mucus coming out as well. Sister Kim, yes, that dry brushing is very it's amazing. You are pulling out stuff that you didn't know, and plus it's taking off the dead skin. And no, they don't talk about that. They don't tell us to do that because our skin is our largest organ. If our skin is clogged, we can't get anything out. And we put polyester, which is plastic, on our skin, most of our clothing. And what happens? Everything is down inside. Therefore, we have inflammation. You see how we connecting the dots here? It's a sick cycle. A sick cycle. Yes, Sister Kim, lot more. Me too. My nose is running. My ears feel funny. I'm getting more earwax. My eyes are actually getting, watery stuff coming out. All of that is the inflammation coming out. Okay, and let's move on. Where am I? Okay. So we just be aware of those symptoms because we want to get ahead of it. We don't want to be after the fact. We want to get ahead of it. Now, there's also some circulation related lung diseases. I never knew that. I never correlated the lungs with my circulation. Duh. I don't know why, but I just didn't. And years ago, every time I would go to my natural doctor, he kept telling me, well, my lungs. And I'm like, my breathing is fine. My lungs are fine. Now that I know what I know, it wasn't fine because my circulation was always off. I didn't feel like my blood flow was fine, but I never related that to affecting my lungs as well. So now I do exercises to open up my lungs, and I do a lot of massage. And of course, we have breaths, so we have to work around the breast, but still we're moving the stuff out and getting that blood flow in. And I don't know if Sister Kim, you may have noticed this. Drinking that drink, the lymphatic drink we were drinking this week and the 3 weeks of this cleanse, my circulation is just getting better and better. I looked at my hands today and they were red, 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 red. And I'm like, woo, my circulation is it's improving. And that's a good thing. We want that to happen. But these circulation related lung diseases affect the blood flow in the lungs, and it does impact your breathing. Sister Esteline, I'm sure you can testify to that. And then we have the pulmonary hypertension. Anytime it's hypertension, it is our blood pressure. And anytime it's blood pressure, it's our kidneys and our adrenals. Make that connection. Please make that connection. So I say that to say just because you have high blood pressure, don't think that it's not all of these other things working in tandem together. So you're just not going to fix that high blood pressure without fixing the lungs, without fixing the adrenals, without fixing the kidneys, because they all work in tandem. And then we have pulmonary embolism, which is the blood clot, which is not good. And that will take you straight to the emergency room. And we know since 2020 and the people who took the stuff, I'm just going to call it the stuff, blood clots are a real issue. When they dissect after they go to the morgue, that's what they find, in a ton of blood clots throughout their body. So these are things we want to get ahead of, the circulation, and make sure you improve your circulation. A great item to have to help with that: beets. They're red, make sure they're organic. And also you've got your mangista, you have your iodine. You also, we have the red fruits. Any of the red fruits and vegetables help increase our circulation. And then take a look at our next slide here, because I want you to see, you see the branch, look at the lungs. It's actually like a tree in there. Yes, we have the tissue, but we also have branches and going on in there. So therefore, it's a living organism. Like I said at the beginning, your lung is not just an airbag, it's living. It has intelligent tissues that's flowing through it. And we want to make sure the breathing is going in and out. As we breathe in and out, it's expressing itself. I love that picture. It clearly shows how it's done. But there are some conditions that weaken the lungs, and we want to be mindful of this. I was amazed. Rheumatoid arthritis, you would think joints, right? It affects the lungs big time, big time. And who would think about that? You hear about Crohn's and ulcerative colitis and lupus and all that. You don't think lungs, you think autoimmune. But it's the lungs. It's the lungs. The lungs are impacted here as well. So we want to make sure that we are looking at that. If you hear anything lungs, you think, okay, what else? Because our body speaks. We just have to learn to listen. Shalom, Sister Nina and Sister Ebony and my girls. How are you? I need to come see you all. All this ice is finally gone, but I hear we're getting another storm this weekend, so who knows. Then we talked about the COPD. And for those of you, COPD is the chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And you hear smokers, emphysema and bronchitis, and there's irritation going on in that lung tissue there. And we want to make sure as we continue tonight, we're going to show you what foods you can eat, how your environment inside the home, your exercise, how we can make our lungs work better for us. One good way is staying hydrated. Hydration is key to everything. Everything. So rheumatoid arthritis, which we would think again joints. Listen to this. I'm going to run through this real quick. The immune system attacks your lung tissue. The inflammation damages the airway, the walls of the lungs. Then scarring reduces the airway strength and flexibility. So instead of it being a soft tissue, it's getting more turgid, and we want it to stay flexible, right? Then we have your mucus clearance, because we want to be able to open up the lungs, bring the mucus out of it so that we can expel it. And then infections become more common because of this rheumatoid arthritis. And we also have repeated injury to these lungs is going to cause you to have that bronchiectasis. Let me say that, or let me sound that out. Bronchiectasis. Anyway, that, what Sister Esteline said she had, okay? All right. So the people with RA have a higher risk of these lung-related diseases than the general population. So if you hear anybody talking about their rheumatoid arthritis, please have them do some research on it and understand there's more to it than just your joint pain. And any of the itises, really, we need to, anytime you hear itis, it's inflammation at the base of it. Then we have foods that help clear the mucus and support the detox. And here's the thing. In my mind, I think if I can just incorporate this stuff weekly or twice a month, 3 times a month, it works. I mean, I use garlic and onions all the time. We know they're antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory. We have our pineapple, which has the bromelain, anti-inflammatory. I've mentioned many times when I fractured my tibia, the first thing I did, they gave me a prescription and we went to the grocery store and I was like, I need pineapple. And that's the first thing I did. Kind of weird, not the expected, but if you know me, it's okay. You know already, right? But it helped. And for months, I ate pineapple every morning for breakfast. Every morning. I was buying pineapples by the case because I know the power of that bromelain. It does break down that mucus. And then we also have all of our citrus fruits, whether it's a grapefruit, it's a tangerine, or the lemons. All of that, it's given us the vitamin C that's going to support our immune system, as well as give us repair to those lungs. And mullein tea is excellent for that, as well as there's several teas, but mullein is really a good one. Very easy to grow, and it comes back every year. Have it in your garden. If you don't have a garden, have it in a pot on your garden, your deck, or somewhere, so that you'll have it. And you can dry the leaves and blend it up in your blender and put it in a jar. And you will have your mullein tea. You will have your security blanket anytime a cold, flu, or anything lung related or inflammatory happens. You're already ready for it. Of course, we can't have a conversation about our lungs without talking about what foods are good for our lungs, right? So snap a picture of this on your grocery list, incorporate this. It doesn't have to be hard. We sometimes we overthink it, but just make sure, go back and check and see how many of these things you eat weekly in your family when you go up, and how many of these things you incorporate weekly. Then you're already on the right path, right? So then maybe all you need to do is do the exercises to open up the lungs. Maybe all you need to do is Get your essential oils we mentioned last week, and then also our favorite oil, castor oil, hexane free, of course, and massage. Let the oils go deep into the tissue and start to heal. You know, we can use the soles of our feet because organically the oil knows what to do. It knows where to go to start the healing process. But as far as what we put into our mouths, because we doing it's an inside out job. Health to me is an inside out job. Our biggest organ, the skin, is taking everything in. So we want to make sure we're feeding it on both sides, right? So look at our grocery list. Beets. And many of us throw away those beet tops. I love those beet greens. I take them, wash them, chop them up real small, and saute them in some rice vinegar or red vinegar. And I have it next to my eggs in the morning. It's delicious, healthy for us, and it's improving your circulation, it's helping your lungs, and it's healing your body. We have spinach, kale, Swiss chard. A lot of these, the children in the schools don't even know what they are. Broccoli, cauliflower. Now, I want to tell you on broccoli, please, when you get a stalk of broccoli, you've got the head, all that greenery, and then the stalk. A lot of people cut that off and throw it away. That's where all the nutrients are. There's a thick outer peeling. Get your knife and get past it and just peel it back, and you'll have the soft inner stem, or it's like the marrow in the bone, you know. And you can chop that up small and have it in your salad, or you can also steam it if you're steaming your broccoli. But that's where those cancer causing fighting nutrients are. It's in that long stalk. So do not throw that away. Peel it back, chop it up, slice it up, and enjoy it. We have carrots. So many of us, we think carrots is just for the eyes, but carrots are great for so many things as well. Then we've got our ginger root. Oh, I'm loving ginger. I'm falling in love with ginger again. You know, you have this stuff, but you don't use it like you should. Well, with my lymphatic cleanse, I've been using it like almost every day. And when I finish the tea and drain it, to drink, I start chewing the ginger. It's a little strong, but I'm like, you know what? This is really going to help increase. It's going to help open up and help move my lymph as well. Because ginger is one of the items that was in our drink that we made for that cleanse. Of course, we also have the lemons, the limes, the oranges, all of that. We've got the healthy fats here, avocado oil, walnuts. Now, the walnuts are great to put on your salad. It's great brain food, but it's also very healthy to help move everything. You've got the chia seed, flax seed. The chia seed, you be careful with that, because if you're not hydrated, that chia seed, it needs to be hydrated to get all the benefits from it. So if you're not hydrated and you're taking that in, it's going to go suck all the liquid out of you, and you're going to look like a prune, and nobody wants to look like a prune. So therefore, make sure you're hydrated. The best way to hydrate if you're dehydrated, first check if you have vertical lines on your lips, deeper. If the deeper they are, you're really dehydrated. And then you may have it around here, you're really dehydrated. Or you may have been a smoker, and therefore, if you were smoking, you already have a deficiency there. Then you can pinch your skin, and if your skin stays up, you're dehydrated. If you're licking your lips a lot, you're dehydrated. If your eyes are dry, pretty much you dehydrate it. So therefore, you want to make sure you're hydrated. Quality water is very important. When you're drinking your water, make sure you're getting your minerals in it. If you're drinking, I hope there's nobody in the sound of my ear on the four corners of this earth that's drinking tap water. And even if you're boiling it and thinking you're killing all the impurities, you're not. They have poisoned our water. It's a bioweapon using against us. So therefore, you should have a filter for the shower because, again, the skin is the largest organ. But drink quality water. Put a little sea salt in there, not iodized salt, because we want the minerals. We want that mineral impact. Then we've got the proteins. We've got our wild caught salmon, sardines. If you can't get hold of wild caught fish, and a lot of these waters today are toxic, so therefore try the sardines. Are excellent. The mackerel, it's wonderful, and you can get your protein from these chickpeas, the black beans, the lentils. Make sure you are soaking them ahead of time, at least 20 minutes. A lot of these seeds or peas, beans, have a phytic acid around it, a coating. And if you're not rinsing and soaking, you are not getting the benefit of it, but that's also causing some toxicity in your body, which could cause some gas and bloating. We also have the herbal and botanical allies, which are the mullein, the nettle leaf. That's a powerhouse. I do nettle leaf. I do nettle every day in my coffee or my tea. It's great for the joints, the bones. And then you've got the thyme, rosemary, peppermint, your green tea, and pine needle tea, which is excellent for the C word as well. Sister Esteline, no way. Really? I love sardines. Guess what? You're missing out. You can get the fish. Well, where do you get your fish? Well, pretty much these days, unless I am in the Caribbean, I do not eat fish except sardines or cod liver or, I get that at Costco. And it's the wild, though it's wild something. Wild Pacific. I forget the name of it. But yes, we can get our proteins. We should not be thinking only about meat, 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 meat. And remember, we did a show on sprouts. You get protein from your sprouts. So your mung beans, your chickpeas, you can make your hummus, another way to take it in. Then we also have our honey, apple cider vinegar, sea salt, and mineral water. We should all have that in our cabinet at all times. Okay? And mineral water. When I say mineral water, you can add your humic or fulvic minerals to your water, or your fermented minerals, or your MSM is a mineral. Put it in your water. Of course, we know MSM has to have the vitamin C to work with it. And keep in mind, anytime you are taking in a mineral, you have minerals work best. They need food to attach to. So if you're waking up in the morning and you haven't eaten, put some lemon in your water and take that and then put your minerals, and it has something to attach to. It's that simple. Then and you have zeolite as well, another mineral. Make sure you eat with that ahead of time. Or you can even you can take your minerals after, but at least within an hour, so it's still the digestion is taking place. Remember, it takes 20 minutes for our brain to tell us we're full. So you need to be eating 21 minutes or more when you sit down to eat. Many of us are finished much sooner. and it causes our digestive system to work harder. Our liver is working overtime. But if we chewed our food until it's liquid, then swallowed, we wouldn't have all these diseases. Our liver would be happy. Our stomach, our small intestine, our large intestine, they would all be happy because we are helping the system along. And that's what we call love. Love the skin you're in. When you love the skin you're in, it's not just this skin. It's not just this skin. It's all of you because the skin is all over you. So love the skin you're in. And then we have the grains and the fiber, the oats. Love oats, but they grow a lot of the oats in glycophosphate fields. So therefore, you've got to make sure you're getting it from an organic source, and then make sure that you're not doing the packaged oatmeal because, and don't believe just because it's Quaker oats. If you read the story on Quaker oats, it's not. It's really Quacker oats. But I digress. And the quinoa, you make sure you soak that quinoa. And what I love about quinoa, it takes on the flavor of anything you've put it in. So when I make quinoa, I do not use water. I use like my bone broth. Or I season up, if I have water, I'm seasoning up everything in it because I wanted to take on that flavor. And sometimes it's great to just have your mushrooms in there, chop up small or bigger pieces, totally up to you. Throw some cranberries in there, spice it up and do it however you like. You might even want to try turmeric in there. Who knows? Flavorful. We're the salt of the earth. Nobody can flavor food like us. So give it a try and see what you come up with. So please snap a picture of this. Make sure these things are on your list. Your herbal teas. We have resources. We've shared with you our sister V's, Vanita, and her V's teas. You can get with her and order some. Then you can also try to stay away from the tea bags in the store, please. You don't know what you're getting. I don't care if it's the mesh ones. I don't care. Just do your loose leaf herbs and strain it yourself, and therefore you know what you're getting. And get it from an organic source, please. Please, please, I beg you. So I thought, well, some people may have lung issues and may want some support, want some guidelines. So I came up with this 7-day lung support meal plan. And these are some suggestions you can use. You can mix it up any day, however you'd like. But it's just a great way to love the skin you're in. Love the skin you're in. If you feeling something coming on and you just want to make sure you get rid of it, just reset like this. Day 1 is anti-inflammatory reset. Day 2, oxygenation and circulation. So you see you've got your beets in there and apples. Apples are great, not just the fiber, but it's great for all the benefits. Remember, an apple a day keeps the doctor away? They weren't playing there. That's really true. Then we have lemon in there, the broccoli, the green tea. The green tea has some excellent healing. What's the word I'm looking for? They have some healing ingredients in there that you really need. I can't speak of them at the top of my head. It's on the tip of my tongue. But if you can have green tea every day, please do. It's great for you. And if you look at the centenarians, those are the people that live over 100 years, Green tea is a part of their mainstay every day. Then we have day 3, mucus clearing focus. Okay. Pineapple. Okay. We already know about that. Turmeric. Yeah. We have the quinoa bowl, sardines, Sister Esteline. Okay, maybe you're making a face right now. And then the sweet potato. I love roasting sweet potatoes. You can do the sweet potatoes with your Brussels sprouts, or, mix it up however you want to do it. Antioxidant deep cleanse on day 4. You've got the spinach and the avocado smoothie. You can make that. And when you make your smoothie, add all the stuff in it. Like I make an avocado mousse. With my avocado, I use dates to sweeten it. I use my milk, coconut milk, and I used avocado. It is so delicious. And cacao, which is cocoa in its purest form before it becomes your milk chocolate. All right. Then we have the gut lung axis support. So the gut is a second brain. Well, we want to make sure we're not forgetting it's connected somehow to that gut, the lungs. So you have your oats, you have your vegetable soup. I mean, salmon, kale, pine needle tea. And if you can get pine needle tea, please do. That's a mainstay in your wellness cabinet, especially with the CV-19 that we had, because there's another one around the corner. It's coming, so be prepared. Then we want to relax our airways with the day 6. You've got the chia seed, which is excellent. It has 2 types of fiber. And you know what I've noticed, and I'll share this with you all. Oh, put some oats with what? In the bowl? Sister Dawn, what do you mean put oats in it? Oh, in the tea? I don't know. Let's see what she says. Anyway, what I've found, if you eat, in the smoothie, yeah, that's an excellent idea. If you put, for breakfast, if you eat fiber-rich foods like an apple, fruit, it helps with the weight. It just goes away. And if you're drinking your ginger tea, I'm just saying. And then day 7 is our mineral replenishment. You're getting your minerals from your lentils, your tomatoes. I know a lot of people say, tomatoes aren't good, and they have issues with the tomatoes because of the especially men. But tomatoes in the right form are good for us. And we wanted to one day I'll talk about oxalates, because there's many people that say oxalates are not good for them, and for some people it's not. But I believe the reason we have all these side effects is because our gut health isn't good, and that's the root of the problem. But we have to fix that first. And of course, fish is always good. If you don't do sardines, we do saltfish, and we also have there's so many fishes out there. One of my favorites is the kingfish. And every time I go home, I've got to have that. Or sea bass. It's so good. So good. Okay. And so for those of you, this is a 7-day. You mix it up however you want, but you've got a great guideline here on how to go about healing your body, your lungs for a week. And if it's a serious issue, maybe you want to do it 2 weeks out of the month and just switch it up. Totally up to you. One thing I love, we give options. We do give options. Now, with all this being said, right? With all this being said, there are foods to avoid so that you have better lung health. Anybody eating this stuff? Processed meats, excessive dairy, the ice cream, the yogurt, the bad stuff with all the sugar in it, the fried foods, the processed meats. A lot of people eat the boar's head meats and the deli meats. Cut that out. The toxins in that process is not good for us. And then the refined carbs. Oh my gosh, I used to be such a sugarholic. My breakfast would start off with the donuts and the bear claws, and oh my gosh, with my coffee or tea or hot chocolate. Sugarholic. And then I had dessert at the end of the day. I mean, it was terrible. And I'm still paying for it. Believe it or not, I'm still paying for it. So if you can get away now, please start curbing, get some enthusiasm and get away from it. Okay? Yes, boar's head has phosphates in it, and it's not good for us. And look, the M&Ms and the Skittles and all the chips, the Doritos and all those colored, the fries with the sriracha and all that stuff on it. No. We can create all of this in a healthier way. And it can be done. I've done it, and it works. It works. It really does. It really does. All right, so here's the way to keep the lungs healthy. We want to make sure we're doing deep diaphragmatic breathing. And when we do that, anyone who sings, I'm sure you already know about this. You breathe through the belly, okay? So when you breathe, you inhale, the belly goes out. Put your hand in front of you, and when you inhale, you push that stomach all the way out. And then when you exhale, you bring it back in. That helps you bellow out more if you're a singer. But this is something I practice at night in bed. For years, I've been practicing this because I want to make sure I'm able to hold my breath when I'm in certain areas. When I smell something I don't like the smell of, I'll hold my breath until I pass it. But you have to make sure that you're able to breathe when it's necessary. I mean, it's necessary every day, but you have to be able to do it the right way. Otherwise, you get out of breath from this. When I run, again, I'm breathing that way. And I know that sounds crazy, but you've got to practice it. And then to keep your lungs healthy, again, the hydration, the minerals, clean indoor air. Let the air, open the windows, let the air flow. And then make sure you don't have toxic chemicals in the house that you clean with. And open your lungs, open the lungs. Do that exercise I showed. Open the lungs every day. Make sure you're doing that. And make your own detergents to clean with. The apple cider vinegar, and you can do lemon and cloves and whatnot, and make your own spray and clean with instead of buying the, what's that one that's so popular? In the purple. Oh gosh, I can't think of it. Somebody help me there. And then also your posture. You know, a lot of us sit at the desk, and so our shoulders slump, and our rib cage, it kind of, the stomach and everything it curves in, and therefore we hunch. We get that hump back. We want to make sure our posture is good, and make sure your shoulders are back, but back and then down. And then, of course, we have emotional and stress. Emotions will pull you down if you don't grab hold of it. And it's important to make sure you're using your essential oils, keeping a clear head, focusing on the things that are important and not the world's chaos. Refrain from that at all costs. And then there's also breath work. Now, I don't know if many of you have heard of Wim Hof. He's the breatharian. And if you have issues with your breathing, take a look at he has a YouTube video, and it's like 3 minutes or 5 minutes, but he will take you through how to breathe, to just open up your lungs and just understand the art of breathing, because it's definitely an art to it. And that way you are not caught where you have an anxiety and your breathing is impacted. You'll learn to breathe. You can exhale. You have the extended exhale breathing. And then we have the back body breathing, which I just showed you, that diaphragmatic, where you breathe in with the stomach out, and then you pull it when you exhale, you bringing it back in. And then you have the humming breath, like the bee breath, just hum, breathing in and out. And as you're walking, the gentle walking breath, it is you take in so many breaths in and then out, in and out. So you can breathe in for the count of 3, out for the count of 5. Breathe in for the count of 3, out for the count of 5. It's just to help you get rid of the inflammation in the body. And we almost finished. How am I doing? 2 minutes over. His name is Wim Hof, Wim space last name Hof. He goes into ice water and holds his breath. It's amazing. We talked last week about the shower, and we have it start off warm and then at the end is cooler and cooler. Yes, that helps with your breathing as well and the circulation. So we have this thing called pathogens that are out there that causes disease. And keep in mind that we want to make sure we are aware that anytime you hear a virus, a fungus, a parasite, or a bacteria, that those are pathogens. These are lab created. Don't freak out. Go look up what the parasite is, what the fungus is. And we know nature has a cure. Nature has a cure for all of it. So before you run to get an inoculation, or you run and take in something that's wiping out all the good and bad bacteria in your gut and destroying your gut health, let's be more mindful of how we address it in nature. And that's it. I believe, lastly, if you go to the white coats, they will give you this device to measure your breathing, your lung capacity. And this is what will determine your diagnosis. So we want to make sure that we are using what nature gave us, the foods, the exercise, we're breathing, we are grounding, we are rebounding, we're doing everything that we can to heal our body and do what we can to make sure our lungs are working properly. If you're having any back pain and whatnot, don't just think of it as back pain. Maybe it's the lungs that need a little work. They need some TLC, tender loving care. Oh, okay. Sister Celine has one of those to help breathe. But you know what? A paper bag, a brown paper bag, when you feel that you can't breathe, that helps. This does the same thing. We should all, if you have any anxiety issues, please have a paper bag in your car. And don't forget, we need to turn on the vagus nerve. If you go back into You've Got Some Nerve, I forget what episode it was, it tells you all about the vagus nerve. Turn that on. Humming, gargling, is excellent for that. Blowing in that bag. We've got to turn off because the chaos in the world today is keeping us on the crazy side. Our central nervous system is out of whack. So we want to turn on that vagus nerve. And isn't it amazing that the Most High put that in us? Because he knew for such a time as this that we'd need that. He's thought of everything. We just have to tap into it. And with that, my darlings, much love to you. Thank you for spending this hour with me and a few minutes over. And until next time, next week we're going to talk about our lymphatic cleanse, and hopefully we'll have some testimonials, and maybe we'll see what's next that we're going to talk about, because there's a plethora of items to talk about, topics galore, and we'll just continue doing that and connecting the dots so that we can remember nature was here first instead of synthetic drugs that are not in line with a living body that the Most High gave us, his masterpiece. Shalom, my darlings. Until next time.
Rise and shine to the morning light. Sister MJ brings the truth so bright. Health and nature in every sound. Feel the rhythm, let's get unbound. From our higher we get our power.
Yes.
Every herb, every healing flower. Sister MJ shows the way. Naturally living every day.
Shalom, shalom, Sister Dawn, Sister Kim, Sister
Naturally
Celine,
free.
Sister Monique,
Naturally living.
Heaven, my girls,
As
Ezzy, you too, shalom. Yes, let's get unbound. All that
that's fresh and pure.
stagnation, congestion.
Nature's bounty
Get rid of it.
is the cure. Sister MJ shows what's real in every word and every meal. From the mountains to the sea, every breath is harmony. Feel the beat and feel alive. With Sister MJ
Breathe again.
we thrive. Grains and fruits in every bite. Feel the energy, feel the light. Harmony in every part. Naturally you with all your heart.